Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation. Firstly, I would like to introduce something about myself. My name is Nguyễn Thị Tô Hằng, and now I'm a lecturer at Foreign Languages Department at Vinh University. I'm delighted to be here today to talk to you about my topics. My topic it is develop critical thinking for second-year English major student at Vinh University through creating podcast. First of all, I would like to mention the reason why I chose that topic. I aim to, my main goal is to promote critical thinking skill, to engage and motivate students with productive activities like asking them to produce their own postcard with the topics they are really interested in. I divide my presentation into three main parts. The first one, I could explain the features of podcasts that make it ideal for the language learning. The second one, I could briefly outline the research on the benefits of podcasts for English learner. And in the last part of my presentation, I will provide instruction on how to use podcasts for learning activities to enhance critical thinking skills. Now, let me give you an overview of podcast. So what is a podcast? In the New Oxford American Dictionary, it defines a postcard as a digital recording of a radio podcast or similar program. It is a type of a digital audio file that is available on the internet for people to download it to computer or to portable device to listen. And the word podcast itself is a combination of the words you can see on the screen. The first one is derived from iPod, which is a very popular portable player of Apple, and comes from the word postcards, mean to transmit to general or public use. Yeah, so nowadays podcast is very popular. So what makes it so popular like that? Let me give you some reason. You can see that postcard fit with mobile learning. You can download it from the internet and you can listen to it. You can use it to learn at any times or at anywhere you like. Another reason is that the materials are delivered in a format that is portable, convenient, easy to use, and easy to access. Postcard is often not often too long. It's quite short, often 3 to 5 minutes, or sometimes it can be up to 10 minutes. But I think it's not too long for them to listen to the postcard. It is often professionally made resources on a whole range of topics. So the people or student can select the topics that they really like to listen to. Last but not least, and I think that is the most convincing reason why for the popularities of postcard nowadays is that they are free. So with the connection with the internet, so people can easily download it to their computer, to their player without paying. So I think that is the reason why make postcard very popular nowadays. And now I move to the benefits of postcard in some research. According to Salmon in 2008, they claim that the use a podcast in tertiary education is considered to promote motivation and engagement, cognition and learning, learner autonomy and innovative opportunity for learning and presenting. So it is beneficial for students at university when they use podcast to study. And the process of creating a podcast can also help students develop transferable skill that is considered desirable in the modern day professional world. And you know that transferable skills are those that are skill and abilities that are very relevant and useful across different areas of life. For example, technical skill, communication skill, or problem-solving skills. And you can see that according to Armstrong, he found that the team-based podcast projects proved to be a creative outlet for students to express ideas, share perceptions, and bring experts to the classroom. And another benefit you can see that helps students to grasp academic concepts more effective and develop creative critical thinking as well as problem solving skill. So you can see from some research, and you can see that one of the biggest benefit of using postcard in education is that it can help students to develop critical thinking. So what is a critical thinking? You can find out a huge number of definitions of critical thinking on the internet, in a lot of documents or a lot of research. And in my presentation, I give one of them. Critical thinking is defined as a purposeful, self-regulatory adjustment that results in interpretation, analysis, evaluation, and inference, as well as explanation of evidential, conceptual methodologies, and or contextual consideration upon which adjustment is based. And a lot of research stressed or emphasize the importance of critical thinking skill in our life. It is considered one of the most important skills to be success in life. And it also seen as a core academic skill. I mean that if students have critical thinking skill, it can enable students to assimilate subject-specific content more thoroughly, and also provide a framework that allows them to engage and respond to problems that they may confront during their lives. However, according to some researchers, Asian students exhibit poor performance in critical thinking. One of the reasons for that is that international student or Asian student, also in Vietnam, they are reliant too much on textbook or compulsory material. They exhibit little accountability for their own learning. And students are conditioned to passively accept knowledge rather than being provided with opportunities to creatively and critically engage with knowledge. That is the reason why I would like to provide you with an activity or productive activity to help students to enhance critical thinking. So in my activities, I asked students to work in group of 4, and they have to prepare and produce 5 to 10 minute postcards. And the type of postcard they have to do is that interview. So but before they do their own postcard, I asked them to listen to postcard, and when they listen to, they have to pay attention to the topic. They take note of questions the speaker used in the interview, and then after finishing listening to the postcards, they have to discuss about the topic, what topics that the speaker are talking about, and what type of questions they use to investigate the topic in the interview. Yeah. And the reason why I asked them to classify, to take note of questions, because they have to know what type of questions and how to conduct an interview in a postcard, to investigate and to find out, to make the topic clearer to the audience and to the listener. You can see on the screen is a student generated postcards. Firstly, they have to choose the problems or the topic that they could like investigate, they could like to make it clearer, and that they could like to give ideas and opinions. And then they have to plan what they have to do step by step, and they have to collaborate to write a script, what they will talk in the interview, in their podcast. They have to collaborate to do every step together, and after that they have to revise. And if there are any problems, and they have to recognize or identify some good or bad things, and then they correct it and make it better. There are 4 phases of podcasting, as you can see on the screen. The first one is a planning or pre-production. The second one is recording. Next is editing, and the last one is publishing. For the first phase of producing a podcast, they have to plan something that they need to do to have in a podcast. The first thing is about the topics. They have to decide the topic, which topic that they want to talk about. Think about the topic that interests listener and that they can relate to. And then they have to research the topic on the internet, library, on other sources. When they collect enough or a lot of information from other sources, they have to work together to brainstorm an idea to support the topic. And then they decide on audience and length of podcast. They have to think about who will be heard in the recording. Is everyone in the school, or is it parents? And do we need an audience to start a podcast? And they have to they have to make a decision about the length of postcard is 5 minutes, 7 minutes, or 10 minutes. The one important thing that they need to consider to record the postcard is the format of the podcast. Should they have a host, and what segment will they have in the show? Yes, it's type interview, but how many speakers in their podcast, and how many segment that they need to have in the show. And then when they have a topic, they have audience, the length and format of the podcast, they have to work together to create script or outline. And there is one thing they need to emphasize and pay attention is the name of the postcard. The more creative, the better. They can use clever name or descriptive names or any names that they can think about, but it make it attractive and creative. You can see a typical script on the screen for postcards. They can use or they can use their own to write a script for their postcards. But there's one thing they have to have in their postcard is intro music and closing music. That is very important and is make a postcard more attractive and motivating to a listener and audience. And when they prepare everything carefully, and now it's time for them to record, and they need to find out some recording equipment. They need to prepare a mobile phone or computer with a USB microphone like that and access to the internet, and they can download some software to make their postcard better, like Audacity or Altitude, the postcard maker. After recording their postcard, their interview, they have to edit it. They can use editing software and apps on the internet to edit. And after that, they upload a copy of final postcard to SoundCloud to be shared publicly with the classmate and other interested in the topic. And the last step for this activity is a peer review and reflection. They will post and share publicly with classmates or other interested in the topic on the social networking, on Facebook and Instagram or something like that. And their classmate will be listen to the postcard and give feedback for their postcards. And I think it's a good chance for everyone in the class and to broaden and to capture common themes or identify across the various postcards. And I think they can have generate and they can have more ideas about a whole range of topics. I think it's very, very important because they can learn from others. They can have sources for them to get information about other topics. And you can see that when students give feedback for their classmate postcards, they can use postcard checklist. They can text and they can give some comment for the classmate podcast, and from that people can learn from each others. And I think this is very important and vital when we have activities for students in class. Yes, that's all about my presentation, and I hope that my activities or my projects about asking students to generate or producing their own podcast will help you and give you some ideas to improve the teachings or to apply some methods to in the teachings at class and at school. And if you have any questions for me, so please give me send it to my emails or on chat box. Thank you very much. Thank you.